Hello gorgeous, this is Joana Saahirah bringing you another video inspired by dancers from all over the globe. This one is about my top tips for improvisation in Egyptian dance or in the so-called belly dance, okay? How can you become a great improviser and how important is improvisation in the practice of Egyptian dance, in the culture of Egyptian dance? Now, before I tell you all about it, let me tell you a bit about myself. If you don't know me yet, I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, author, and I'm also the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I have to ask you to do so, as I should. So subscribe now and click on the notifications bell button so that you know every time I have goodies coming into the channel, which is quite frequently, okay? Last but not least, subscribe to Joana Saahirah's World newsletter. The link is in the description box below if you want to become a part of our insider community and be the first to receive our news, gifts, and exclusive inspirations that I actually only share with my beautiful community. Check the link below, click on it, and join us. Now, let's dive into my top tips to become a great improviser. Let's start with the beginning. Is it even important to improvise in Egyptian dance? I would say it is essential. Okay, this is where it all started. Choreography in Egyptian dance is actually something recent or something of the modern Egyptian dance era, but this is not the natural state of Egyptian dance, Egyptian Oriental dance, raqs sharqi. The natural state of raqs sharqi is bent, improvised. Yes, that means that if you only work on your technique and your choreography skills, you are missing the core, the heart of Egyptian dance. In other words, baby, you gotta learn how to improvise if you want to experience the magic of authentic Egyptian Oriental dance, okay? This is where it all started. It is the natural state of the dance, and it is also a door that you open to a lot of beautiful things like creativity, identity, self-confidence, uniqueness, and so much more. Now, what can I advise you to do in order to become a great improviser? Let's start with number one, and I'm going to read from my notes, okay? So I chose from a lot of stuff that I could share with you, the number one tip being work on your technique. Yeah, work on your knowledge, work on your dance. And you may say, Joana, but we're talking about improvising. Shouldn't I be free from knowledge? Shouldn't I do whatever pops into my head? Well, yes and no. If you are learning Egyptian dance and if the goal is to improvise inside the Egyptian dance language, you gotta know the language of Egyptian dance. So sometimes I see dancers confusing improvisation with an invitation to do whatever pops into their head, with total disregard for the dance, for the music, for the culture, and that's not what improvisation stands for. So if you want to become a great improviser inside Egyptian dance, learn Egyptian dance, work on your technique, do classes and courses and workshops with professional teachers, not trendy self-made marketing divas, professional teachers who know what they're doing so that you have valuable information, not trendy choreographies that are empty, that are not going to develop you or your technique. So the first thing you got to do is work on your dance, work on your technique, study the music, study the culture, and the more preparation you have, the more safe you will feel improvising and the more material you will have to play with, because improvisation is playfulness. It's playing with what you have. Your natural resources, your personal resources, and also the resources you have gathered from the outside world. That means your education as a dancer. So tip number one, educate yourself. Tip number two, also reading from my notes, turn the music into your ally. I say this to my students all the time at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, in my private coaching programs, in my travels around the world. I have repeated this until oblivion. Turn the music into your ally. Use the music in your favor. Usually dancers consider the music something they have to deal with. I will manage the movements and then I will think about the music. Let's see if I'm in the music. But the thing is, the music is your map, is your guideline. The music is your best friend inside your dance, specifically inside your improvisation. So change the mindset you may have around music and start paying attention to it. Even before you move, listen. When you don't know what to do, listen. When you are lost and you're not sure which step to use, listen. When you feel that you're not good enough, that you're not capable, listen. Go back to the music again and again as if it was your biggest ally, because it is, okay? Third tip that I would like to share with you is quitting the idea of perfection. So if you have an idea of how your dance should look like, if you have an idea of how you should look like when you're dancing, you should quit it now. Drop it. Let it go. Let it go. Because improvisation is a deep dive into the unknown, right? Improvisation is when you tackle a music, either a music you know or a music you don't know, and you allow yourself to be totally present and in flow with it, and allow yourself and your body and your mind and your heart and your soul to react to it second by second without really knowing how this is going to end. Sometimes our improvisations are superb, they are genius. Sometimes they are average, sometimes they are plain, they are boring, and that's part of the deal. It's like life, you know. We don't always have great days. We don't always have majestic, bombastic, sensational days. Sometimes we have lousy days. Sometimes we have terrible days. It's life. So improvisation in Egyptian dance is a reflection of life. Allow it to flow as it wants to flow. Quit any idea of perfection in regards to how things should look like, how things should feel like, how you and your dance should be done. Allow yourself to discover how you, the moment and the music will operate together and cook something unique at every single day, at every single moment. That is the magic of improvisation. You cannot control it. That's the point of improvisation. So stop controlling the outcome. Allow yourself to be surprised and do an exercise that I propose to my students all the time. Actually, this was an exercise that I got from Mahmoud Reda, my dearest teacher and friend and mentor, the icon of icons, the father of Egyptian folklore. And once he told me, Joana, I want you to record yourself improvising in order to choreograph. So this was the other way around. I was a great improviser and I didn't want to choreograph. I thought I was lousy at choreography, but he convinced me. And how did he convince me? He told me, let's record your improvisations and then we study your improvisations and we start building a choreography out of them. Now, I'm sharing this exercise for you, not because I want you to choreograph. It's the opposite, okay? It's the other way around. I want you to improvise, but it works in a very similar way. So allow yourself to be totally in the moment and allow yourself to dance as you feel in that precise moment, and record yourself and watch yourself and watch different improvisations. Record yourself improvising in different days, different styles, different occasions, and see how many beautiful things you're going to find out about yourself, about your dance skills, about your sensibility. So many beautiful gifts that you didn't even know you had. Okay? Now, next tip to become a great improviser is something that I actually mentioned just seconds away. It's about presence. Now, we are not trained to be present. I am here with you right now creating this content for you, and my mind has to be here fully. If 1% of my mind is in lunchtime or what I gotta do next, you will feel it. So we need presence. That is something I have learned from the practice of Egyptian dance. That is something I have learned from living and performing in Egypt and having the privilege of working with the best musicians I have ever met in my life. They showed me what presence meant. When you're into something, when you are present in something, be fully there. When you're improvising, especially, there is no permission to think about anything else or to wonder or to even think too much about what you're gonna do. You gotta be present, feel the music, feel your body, allow your system to react, and be surprised. by the outcome, okay? Which will always be different. Then again, it's the beauty of improvisation. Last tip I have for this video is use your creativity and say something. Actually, these are two tips into one. Use your creativity and say something with your dance. So using your creativity means exploring movement outside of the movement you have learned from your teachers. How can my hips move in a different way? How can I do a specific movement that I have learned this way in the opposite way, or in the opposite side, or down or up? How can I change and play with the content I have learned from my teachers? How can I create new movement patterns? How can I explore gestures, postures, pauses that are my own? How can I allow myself to make mistakes if mistakes are meant to be made, independently of what mistakes mean, right? Because that's also highly arguable. What is a mistake in a creative endeavor? What is a mistake, right? Allow yourself to explore. Allow yourself not to be safe and not to use the material you have learned from others all the time. See what your body can produce and don't judge it. Just allow it to flourish. Just allow it to come out and to bloom, okay? And of course, while you use your creativity, while you use your identity, I want you to actually communicate something. Say something. Start to look at dance like a language that you may use to express your most truthful, authentic self. That's it. That's it. I do hope this video helped you. I do hope you have made notes on my tips for improvisation. Next time you tackle a song, a musical piece, a new one, an old one, something that you have nothing planned for, something that you want to dive into in an improvisational mode, remember these tips, and most of all, apply them, because knowledge and evolution do not come from awareness. They come from a combination of awareness and application. Apply the awareness, apply the knowledge, try it, and always believe in yourself. I love you, and I will see you very soon. Until then, I'm gonna invite you once more to join our newsletter. The link is in the description box below this video. Join our community, be the first to receive our gifts, inspirations, and exclusive content. And of course, like this video if you liked it, share it with your dance peeps, and tell me in the comments to this video, what are your improvisation hacks? What do you do to be a better improviser in your dance? What do you use? I want to know all about it in the comments. I'm waiting for you in all sorts of ways, in all sorts of places. Much love and my usual kiss. Mwah.